Thank you for investing your time to be with us here today. This really is the first worldwide initiative of its kind, and we are on a mission to help martial arts schools, your schools, enroll 30,000 students in 30 days. And it is a BHAG. Does anybody know what BHAG stands for? What is that an acronym of? Let me know in the chat if you know what BHAG means. Maybe I'm just the only one. There we go. Big, hairy, audacious goal. It is 100% a big, hairy, audacious goal. But we know that we can hit this with your help. We've got the CEO of Century on with us today, Mike Dillard. He's going to be sharing some things with you. We've got Mike Metzger, and I'm going to let them do a little bit of an introduction of all of their amazing accolades when we get to them. Mr. Metzger is the lead consultant of MAIA and co-owns 9 championship martial arts locations in the Orlando area. And then that's me, Chris Rodriguez. I am a school owner for 11 years, just recently sold my school in January because I own a digital marketing agency called GrowPro that specifically works with martial arts schools just like you. And we just want to lay some ground rules for today's kickoff webinar. Want to make sure that you come with an open mind. And I know Mr. Metzger's going to touch on that a little bit more. Feel free to ask questions, get in the chat. And the most important aspect of our time together for the next 6 weeks is that you do the work. So you might be thinking like 30 students in 30 days. Is it possible? Is it possible to sign up 10 students, 20 students, 30 students or more in one location? And I think a better question we should be asking is, what would need to be true for this to be possible? And I think some of those things that would need to be true, you need a game plan, you need coaching, you need accountability, you need a big enough reason why. And in the 11 years that I owned and operated Gracie Pack, I found that there were 2 times throughout the year where we could consistently hit those type of sign-up numbers of 30 plus students. And that was with our annual anniversary party and during the back to school season. And we've seen MAIA clients hit these numbers over and over again. In fact, I got a text message this morning from a MAIA client who already has signed up 26 students so far from this month. And we're not even halfway through. So there's a system that we have that is proven, and we're really excited to share it with you. So I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic to Mikey Dillard, and he's going to talk a little bit about making an impact today.
Awesome. Well, first, I want to thank everybody for just taking the effort, making the effort, taking the action to be here today. This is an incredible initiative, and we're just really appreciative. I know that it takes work to get this done. Okay. And so showing up here today it's going to be the first step for us. And this isn't about Century. It's not about MAIA. It's about the martial arts industry, all of you guys, the owners, coming together to try and make this possible, because we got to continue to move the needle forward, continue to get participation in the martial arts. And I'm going to say this up front. We've said it over and over again in some of our marketing. There is no sale here. There's no thing you have to buy at the end or anything like this. And why would we do that? It's because we really do want to grow the industry. And this is something that's involved in MAIA. So it's a piece of that. I've convinced and worked with the MAIA team to provide this to everybody for free, because I think, and we all think as a group, this is collectively the best chance for everybody to sign people up. And it's the most important time of year for you guys as school owners to be setting yourself up for success for the next couple of months. So a lot of people all ask, why is Century doing this? Why are we making this investment? Because we've made a significant investment, both in money, time, and effort to make this happen. And I'll remind everybody, Century's mission statement is, we exist to inspire people to experience the life-changing benefits of martial arts. And that's because I think we all believe that martial arts, it can change people's lives. And when we sat around, we thought about that being our mission statement. Everyone thought, it should be about products, should be about innovation, customer service. All these things they're all very true. And that is what our company does. But growing the martial arts, that's at the heart of it all. And we're at the heart of serving you guys as owners and as instructors. And so if we're not helping grow the martial arts too, then our company and your businesses, we can't succeed ultimately. So Chris, can I change the slides? You got that? Okay, cool. So I'm hoping that this initiative, all of us, the entire industry coming together, this collective group of school owners, all going through the same time, the same back to school initiatives, we can all pull our resources together, and the momentum of this campaign, both online and through this group, this will help move the needle, and we can all collectively as a group help each other succeed in this way. And we're going to be able to provide you guys the tools, the marketing content, and the necessary plan to make this achievable. And I just want to clarify that Mr. Metzger and Ms. Chris Rodriguez, they dedicate their lives to this information. So those of you guys who aren't familiar with them, they are school owners. They have been school owners. They've been in the trenches experiencing exactly what you guys are experiencing with your own businesses. They've been in the exact same situation, planning for back to school time and time again. All of the information that we're going to be sharing with you guys today, this plan, putting things together, holding each other accountable. This is not the first time that this stuff has been done. It's been done year after year, and we've tweaked it, and it's all been dialed in to be more successful year after year. And they're sharing it with you guys today. So it really is it's a tried and true method to help you guys be successful. The hardest part is about holding yourselves accountable and actually participating in it and executing these steps. So the three things before I hand it off, we start getting into the meat of it, is to remind you guys about growth. It's necessary to be a sustainable school, to be a sustainable business, to continue to grow your business. A lot of people, I feel like in the martial arts, sometimes we have this mentality that if we're trying really hard to get new students or we cater to them, that we're selling out or we are kind of giving in to this necessary evil to get new students and to put ourselves out there. You're not. You guys are being successful business. Every successful business has got to continue growing and continue to get new students. And so don't have that mentality. Instead, have the mentality that you're putting yourselves out there and you guys are doing what's right for your business, and every school having new faces. That's a sign of a healthy school. The second is timing. Back to school is the ideal time to be having this kind of event. And you've always got to go into back to school planning with that, a plan. And if you don't, you're going to miss out on a huge opportunity. We just talked about in the chat, everybody's kids are going back to school. If they haven't already, they'll be going back in the next couple of weeks. And every parent is resetting their schedule. They're resetting their priorities. They're organizing their lives to try and get ready for the next semester, the next couple of months ahead of them. And so this is the time that if they're going to make this kind of decision, they're going to insert themselves and make this decision right now. So we got to plan, we got to put ourselves out there, and we've got to work together to capitalize on that. And the last one is collaboration. Everybody in this group is all going through the exact same thing together. Ms. Rodriguez is going to share about a platform called School that we've got everybody capability to, again, sign up for completely free. And that'll allow us to all talk, collaborate, share ideas, ask questions. You'll have direct access to myself, to Ms. Rodriguez, to Mr. Metzger, the entire MAIA team, anybody else who you guys need to ask questions for clarification. We'll be able to do that. And the other thing about collaboration is put this stuff online. We saw during COVID, every time everybody posts something about their school, they put all these videos about the inspirational aspects of martial arts. That stuff works. And when we tie our industry, this entire collective group of people, we have 752 schools signed up for this, by the way. So when we all pull to the internet, our hashtags, tag Century will amplify that message. We'll be putting out good martial arts content, feel good stuff that shows us why we do martial arts, why it's so important for people. We'll be putting that out all month long in September, and we'll help each other amplify this so that we continue to get eyeballs on martial arts and the success of this program as we're rolling it out. And then finally, it all lies with you guys. So collectively, 752 schools involved in this webinar. That's about 115,000 students you guys represent right now. We just work on averages. And you guys are the ones that are the catalyst to make this happen. Century Martial Art, we can send out a ton of emails. We can run these campaigns. We can tell people how great martial arts is, but I can't control what happens on the mat. And you guys are that catalyst. You guys are experiencing that with your students every single day. When a new student signs up, that is you guys doing that work. And that is you guys having that experience with them that they go to share with their friends, their community, and in turn get you guys new students. And so lastly, we promised everybody that we're going to be providing these new challenge coins. Okay. So our goal for everybody in this group, if you're part of this program, is 30 students in the September month. And as Ms. Rodriguez says, that seems like a lot, but I promise you, if you try these tactics and you implement this correctly, you guys will achieve that and more. So Century is going to back that by sending you guys all free challenge coins. The first 5 of them, everybody, Ms. Rodriguez has a sign-up list. I need everybody's shipping information. So if you guys could fill that out, just put your shipping information on there. It's not to sell you anything. It's not to send you a bunch of stuff all the time. It's just for this one envelope that's going to have 5 challenge coins on it for you and your first 5 students. And then on our next webinar, we will check in. We'll do another round of this. We'll see how many students everybody got, and then we'll collect that and we'll send out more coins. We're going to do it as we go so that we kind of pace ourselves and that, I don't run completely out of coins for no reason. Everyone doesn't take advantage of it. So it's going to be on the honor system. I'm trusting everybody here, and we're making that investment. These do cost money. This is shipping to every single one of these. So please just be truthful about it, and we'll continue to pump these coins out. And I hope that this isn't something else besides a belt. It's something else besides a promise to the parent. It inspires the student to continue on their journey. As you can see, it says it's about the journey, not the destination. Exist to inspire, and some of our values of our martial arts and our company. And we'll continue to roll those out. We're also going to support everybody with discounts on student uniforms, on sparring gear, things of that nature throughout the month of September. So we will open up those promo codes and all the discounts and things on the next webinar, which is, Ms. Rodriguez, I believe it's on August 27th. Is that correct?
1 week from today, we have our next webinar.
Okay. So we will...
The 20th. August 20th is our next one. And
so
guys, I see a bunch of you dropping your addresses in the chat.
Yeah,
I put a link. All you gotta do is click that link and fill out that form. And then this way we'll be able to send those coins out. So I'll continue to drop the link throughout the webinar today. It's one of your action steps at the end as well, but you gotta click the link. Just dropping your name and address in the chat will not get you the coins. You gotta click that link.
Yes. So you guys can see that. We'll post it everywhere too, so that everyone keeps track of it. But that's all I've got to say. Again, these guys are much well versed in this. We're going to hand it over to Mr. Rodriguez, Mr. Metzger, and get into the meat of it.
Yeah, guys, can we drop the word Century in the chat that they are sending out these coins? They're covering the cost of the coins, the shipping, like they are all in with this initiative. They didn't have to do that. So huge shout out to the crew at Century. And Mr. Metzger is going to be talking a little bit about mindset. I know, sir, sometimes you like to see everybody when we get started. So just let me know when you want me to share the screen again.
Chris, I like to see everybody all the time, but you forced me to do PowerPoints and presentations, and I can't see people. I'd rather see the people. I just want to repeat this again. Chris said it, but some of you are still putting your school name and address. The only way to get these coins is to click the link and fill out the form. I just want to make sure everyone's hearing that and you're not distracted, because you guys know, just like with students, have any of you ever made an announcement that classes are going to be canceled on this day? You said it 50 times, send out an email, a text, but people show up on that day for class, right? Well, don't smile. You guys are no different. We're people, right? Sometimes we're just not paying attention. So don't put your school name and address in the link. Fill out the form. All right. Another thing that I'm going to repeat is next week, a week from today, is when we kick off the how to and what to do. And this is an overview of just kind of what to expect, right? So Chris, go ahead, block all the people out, share the screen, put up my slide that I made 10 minutes ago to make you happy.
You made it 10 minutes ago?
30 minutes ago?
You made it?
Well, I typed it out and I have people.
Yes,
so
you do.
Thank you. So anyway, let's talk about this, guys, this initiative, because one of the things that I personally pride myself on is being honest with people. And I'm never going to tell you guys something that's just, it seems like the theme I've been saying is there's fantasy and there's reality. And I have a 15-year-old daughter who will be turning 16 in October, and I have a 10-year-old daughter. And it seems like that I use this phrase with them a lot as well, that at the end of the day, I operate in reality. Not everybody likes reality, and you don't have to like it, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's the reality of the situation. And all of you on here will be better off after the 6 weeks of these webinars. And all of you on here are capable of getting 30 students. Now, if you operate in your living room and you teach 1 day a week and you have a full-time job, this is going to be very difficult for you to get 30 students, probably because you just can't fit them in your living room. But I'm not going to lie to you and say you can do it too, because you can't. Okay, so I'm just going to be honest. So let's go to the next slide. So during this stuff, people always ask, well, there's a lot of people that ask, Chris being one of those people. Chris, have you ever asked me, how did I get to where I'm at in life, and as far as business or anybody that's successful? You're very attracted to the habits of success, right? Well, here you go, Chris. Here's some things that I will share with everybody. Don't put up your own barriers, right? I noticed that a lot of people in general, will first think of excuses, justifications, the negative. Successful people don't do that, right? So number one, you all may think my community is small. I don't live in a big, dense community. It's a very small town. It won't work here. I want to remind you, if you're thinking that, we're talking about 30 people, 30 students. So, I did a road trip. I was gone for a month over the summer with my family, and we did a road trip across the country. And I did pass a town in Colorado. And anytime I saw a very, very, very small town, I'd say to my wife, hey, Google this town and the population. I did pass a town where the population was 26. So if you're in that town, yeah, your community is too small. But for the majority of you, your community is not small. Okay, I mean, it is, but we can still accomplish this because we have data to back it up. Next, that won't work here. Okay, Mr. Swishow, yes, I have a cow pasture across the street. Right, and you're doing absolutely fine, sir. That won't work here. You all will get a mindset sometimes where you think, that won't work here. Our community is different. Our people are different. Here's another success tip for all of you. If you ever start blaming the economy, if you ever start blaming your town, if you ever start blaming the people, you've just lost all control of your success. If that's the case, then, man, that stinks. We sit back and we just complain. We don't do that, right? Everything falls on us. So you got to get out of your own way. And then the last one, this is a big one, everybody. Well, I've tried this before. When we get into it next week, when we get into all of these systems that we're going to teach you to enroll students, you might hear the same language, but the definitions may be different. But when you hear the same language, you may say, oh, this doesn't work. I've tried this before. But did you try it the way we do it, right? You really need to stick it out, and you need to see if we do it differently than you've done it before. Okay, next. This is a big one. It's not what you know or what you think you know. It's what you don't know that can stifle your growth, right? So some of you think you know how to run a successful martial arts school. Well, compared to who, right? And compared to what? And there are things that you just don't know, that you won't know unless you continue to seek education. And that is me included. And by the way, there are every single one of you on here, I can learn something from. That's my mindset. It doesn't matter how successful I am. There are things that certain people on here right now do in your business that you do better than I do. And I'd love to hear it. And that is one of the reasons why we can host this, because I have consulted schools for 20 years one-on-one, meaning it's a one-on-one conversation. It's not me just talking to a group of people. And every client I ever had, even if they had 50 students, they would say something that they did or tried that I'd say, really? And how did that work? That worked for you? And then I would try to systemize it. I would try it in my schools. And if it worked consistently between all of my schools, we would then make it a system and teach it. So I'm always learning. And if you want to be successful, you got to keep, as Bruce Lee would say, empty your cup. You got to keep it empty. Okay. Okay. Next. This is important. What why will drive you? The reason I ask this question is, if you try something and it fails, if we're doing something, what's going to make you to do it? Try it again and again and again. So right now, for those of you who'd want to share, why are you on here? Now, I know it's to get new students, but why do you want new students? And most of you would say, well, because we will be able to generate more revenue. I'll be able to move into my school that I want, or I'll be able to pay my instructor, my student that really wants a job, I'll be able to pay him more, or I'll be able to pay my bills more. I'll be able to quit my job. What is it that's going to drive you to work and do this? Can you guys share those whys for me so I can take a look and see? What is your why? Give an opportunity to staff, expand into another location, stop working outside of my own school. Lost my day job due to layoffs. Now I can finally pursue my passion full time. I want to share my martial arts. I've basically only been charging for a year, would like to do this full time. Impact my community, impact youth in my community, provide amazing opportunities for staff, grow my student base, start a new class. Kids deserve a safe place in their community, 100%. More freedom with my family, permanent location, pay my instructors more. Guys, these are great. These are great. So here's what you need to do. Whatever your why is, and I'm going to give you another success tip here. Whatever your why is, you need to take a minute and you need to visualize what that life will be like once you're able to do whatever it is that you want to do. And it's funny because this is not all about financial gain. You know, I want to impact my community. I want a safe place for kids. Well, one of my passions back in the day was my mission statement was, anyone that wanted to train in martial arts, I wanted them to be able to afford to train in martial arts. So I charged $4 a class, pay as you go, $4. And I also knew not everybody back then, this is 34 years ago. I also knew everybody couldn't afford a uniform. That's okay. If you had sweatpants, I was like, come on in. And I thought I would get everybody at my school. I didn't, right? It was not a professional, it didn't appear to the public as a professional place, right? $4 a class, people in sweatpants. There was no uniformity. It looked like a lack of discipline, but my mission was to try to help the community. It wasn't until I professionalized, right? And started focusing on impacting my community, but also making money to have more instructors, give more opportunities. But I also was able to give back, give scholarships. We go to the principals in the public school systems and say, pick whatever troubled kid you feel, or pick a couple, and we'll totally scholarship them for martial arts lessons. You know, there's things that we can do when you can afford to do it, right? All right, next slide. So what we're going to be going over the next couple of weeks is these are proven systems and you can't argue with the data. So like if somebody's on here thinking, oh, that won't work, you have no legs to stand on with that, because it has worked with, I would tell you, thousands of schools. And I think thousands of schools, because there are people, I've spoken at every single super show there's ever been, and there's a lot of people that heard information, took it. I'm sure it worked for them. But just in the MAIA schools that we've worked with one-on-one, we're talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of schools all over the world. And when you see a consistency where consistently this is working, okay, you can't argue with it anymore, right? There is no argument. Okay, next bullet point. So we want to not just tell you what to do, but we feel it's really important to tell you how to do it. And that's where people miss it. It's not like, for example, well, I do a referral program. So do I. How do you do? I do great. How do you do? We don't get any referrals. Well, is it because referrals don't work? Or is it because we're doing it differently? It's because we're doing it differently. So we want to make sure that we tell you the how behind the what. Okay, next. Okay, this is the focus, right? The focus for this specific webinar over the next 6 weeks is to get you as many new students as possible. Now, you might be like, well, of course, right? But the truth is, we're not going to teach you on this necessarily how to maximize student value and how to generate revenue. The focus of this is to get you as many new students as possible, okay? And that's what we're going to do. And we're going to talk about internal and external marketing systems. The other thing that I'm very cautious of and very, I focus on this a lot because I don't want to take anybody for granted, is low expense systems, things that will not cost you a lot of money to get new students in the door. But if you're not paying a lot of money, you got to pay a lot of time. Okay, there's a trade-off on that. And the next thing is, as I say, get the community to come to you. And the reason why I say get the community to come to you is because so many times there's been people that have called me and said, my phone's just not ringing. My phone's not ringing. At the end of the day, I really don't care if my phone's ringing, as long as people are walking in my door and coming into my building. And the mission on marketing is just get bodies in your building, right? And then we have to have a method and a system to show the values and benefits of our program and get them to become students with us, right? And then the last thing that I'm just going to make sure everyone understands, and we'll see if you come back next week and stick with it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that success is easy, because it's not. Success is not. And if anybody out there is saying, this is simple, just follow these 3 steps and you're going to grow your store. No, you're not. No, you're not. It takes work. Any successful person will tell you they busted their ass. I mean, success is not easy. Success is difficult. However, with systems in place, with coaches, with people that are basically, quote, holding your hand and bringing you along and pointing down the pathway, success is easier. But it is not easy. It is easier. And when Century came up with this push, right, and wanted to do this initiative, we understood that if everybody in our industry, as many people as we can get, is doing this together, as Mr. Mike Dillard said earlier, that we will push each other, because we're all going to have stumbles. We're not all going to succeed, but we're all going to come out better for it, no matter what. Success also is a habit. And over the next 6 weeks, if you do the work, which again isn't easy, but when you see everybody else on here saying, we did this, you see the wins, that may inspire you to keep pushing, to keep doing the work. But at the end of the day, knowledge doesn't get erased. Knowledge does not get erased. So when we are all said and done, you will have more knowledge on how to be a little bit more successful than you were prior to these webinars, regardless of where your schools are. We have clients in the MAIA program, right? Just to put it here, because if you're a school owner that's like, well, I'm very successful, we do X amount. We have clients that are doing $1.8 million a year with one location. One location, $1.8 million a year. There's not a lot of schools in our industry that do more than that. Are there exceptions? I'm sure, but there's not a lot. So, and by the way, they're in our program. You know, they're doing 1.8 and they're in the program because they understand there is always something to learn, and they understand the philosophy of empty your cup. Chris, you want to bring everybody back up? So at the end of the day, you got to be willing to put the work. And I always had a motto. I married my high school sweetheart, right? We've been together since high school, so that it's 8 years now we've been together, which is fantastic. And guys, I could see it. See, when I bring the faces up, they're like, wow, Mr. Metzger's only 25. It's awesome. We've been together a long time, but I remember when we were dating, I was always on the mat 6 days a week. I taught every day, every class. We dated for 8.5 years before we got married. And she said to me, she said, is this how it's going to be? You'll never be home for dinner. You know, you're going to be working till 9:30 every night. And I said, no. I said, I have a plan and I have a vision. And I said, I have to sacrifice today for the rewards of tomorrow. And I said, you got to trust me. I have a plan. You just got to trust me. Well, fast forward, we've been in business. I've been in business since 1992, 32 years. So 32 years. And I fulfilled that promise, but I fulfilled it many, many years ago. So not only, everybody, not only do I have a life-work balance, but I provide that for my people as well. And that's just getting to a different level. I, as the owner, for all of you people that are the owner, if you're the owner, that's just a title. As an owner, you have a job to do. But if you have someone working for you, or not yet, but you want to eventually, they're an instructor or a program director, they have a primary job to do. But we cannot be selfish and just provide the best lifestyle for us because we're the owners and not provide it for our staff. And today we have over, I don't know the number exactly, but I know it's over 90. We have over 90 team members that work for our company. It's myself and Mr. Silverman. And we have 9. So we have 9 martial arts schools that we own, just Mr. Silverman and I. And we have 150 licensed locations around the country and Canada. And we have a lot of clients in the consulting world, and we have a commercial real estate portfolio, but everything came from the martial arts. And it was, I told you earlier, I charged $4 a class, but if it weren't for some of the other people that were professional back in the early 90s that said, hey, why don't you come visit my school? I'll show you what I do. I'd still be I wouldn't be charging $4 a class. I'd be out of business in another industry. So I always promised that I would want to give back to our industry, regardless of how successful I get. I will always come back to the roots to try to help. But it's frustrating sometimes when I know how much we can help, but people aren't willing to learn. And they don't understand that it's a grind. The difference is I didn't have somebody holding my hand back then. So I learned a lot and I made a lot of mistakes. You can get my 32 years in 5 years. So when I say sacrifice today, right now we're talking about sacrifice the next 6 weeks of grind to get you those students that you want based on the why you want them. Okay, Chris?
All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and show you exactly how we're going to be spending our time together over the next 6 weeks and go through the platform that we are going to be using. So this is all about the tools that you guys will have access to. So we really needed a place to host the recordings, the marketing assets we want to give you, and a place where you can ask questions. So we decided to use a platform called Skool, Skool, and it is completely free. I'm going to drop the link because you do need to register. Again, completely free, but you do need to create a login in order to access it. And I'm going to share that in a minute for you. So basically, inside of the platform, And for some reason, that slide's not showing. So I'll just do the actual platform here. We have this section that is called Community. It's the first tab you're going to land on. And I want you to think of this kind of like a Facebook group. Only the people that are part of the 30,000 Students Initiative will have access to this. And this is where you can ask questions and get answers. I also posted a video walkthrough on how to use the platform. It's very quick. It's not difficult. It's super user friendly. So think of this like a Facebook group. Everybody will have the ability to write something in here, and then myself and Mr. Metzger will get notified when you do, so we can go in and answer those questions for you. Under Classroom, you're going to see 4 different sections. The first one are the recordings. So today's kickoff webinar, we're going to host it inside of school under Classroom. And then every single week after, when we do a session, it takes a couple of hours for the Zoom video to process, but we'll get those recordings up the same day. So if for some reason you can't make it live, which we highly recommend you make it live, but if you can't, you will be able to access the recordings later on in that day, okay? The other aspect inside of the classroom are the assets. So this is going to give you everything that you need in order to market to get 30 students in 30 days. And what we did is we actually built everything out in Canva. Most martial arts school owners and schools are leveraging the platform Canva. Let me know in the chat, yes or no. Have you ever used Canva? Do you know how to use it? Let's see. All right. We're getting a lot of yeses. That's good. If it's a no, that's okay. It is the most user-friendly platform that is out there. And the reason why we chose Canva is because if you want to edit the graphics that we give you, you can edit it. You can change the text. You can change the pictures if you want to use your own students instead of stock. So it is very, very user-friendly. So once you register for school, you're going to get access to all of these assets. And over the course of the next 2 weeks, when we go over the internal and external marketing plan, we're going to teach you exactly how to use these assets, okay? Also, inside of here, we have the student enrollment tracking form. So each Monday, we're going to ask you to go inside of here and fill this Google form out. Now, many of you are using different CRMs. And just to prove my point, do me a favor, type whatever CRM that you are using currently in the chat. All right. As you can see, lots of different CRMs are being listed out. And there was really no way for us to be able to connect all of those CRMs into, we would have had to build out an entire coding developer department and team to do this. So we're trying to keep it really simple. And all you'll have to do is click on this form. And this form is just a Google form. So most people know how to use a Google form. You'll put your school name, your name, and how many new students did you get in the past week. We're going to send you reminders with the link to fill this out. And yes, it is the honor system. But I would think as martial artists, we all preach and also have integrity. So each Monday you'll go in and you'll fill that out. And this will give us a good understanding of how many students' lives that we are impacting. Okay. And guys, we're going to take questions at the end. I see some of them come through, and I know like other comments are coming through, but we'll take questions at the end. And DMW Martial Arts, be sure to re-ask that question. Okay. So that's the student enrollment tracking. And then finally, in order to order the challenge coins, which we dropped that link earlier, but if you want to order more in the future, you'll have this link here to be able to order more. And this will give Century the shipping information that they need in order to send it out. Okay. So this is the classroom. You get the recordings. You get the assets. This is where you're going to track how many new students you enrolled each week. And this is also where you can order the challenge coins. We also have a calendar inside of here that has all of our webinars. As you can see, we've got the kickoff webinar right now. And when you click into it, it also has the Zoom link. And it's the same Zoom link every single week. You're not going to have to worry about new Zoom links. And if you want to add it to your calendar, maybe use a Google Calendar or Apple or Outlook or Yahoo, you can actually sync this with your calendar so you have it on your calendar. So all of that will be in here. And when you register, you're going to get an email the day before the webinar reminding you that, hey, tomorrow we're getting together and we are going to be helping you gain more students. And that's it. Those are the 3 parts of this online platform. You've got the community, which is basically like a Facebook group. You've got the classroom where you can access the recordings, the assets, the student enrollment tracking, and order the coins. And then you have the calendar. Okay, so really tried to keep it as basic of a platform as we could. And this platform really checked off all of those boxes for us. So what I'd like for you to now do is to block your calendar off. Okay. Just have a mental note that we are meeting every Tuesday with the exception of the day after Labor Day. That's the only week we're not gonna meet, which is the first week of September. And every single call will have a different focus. The first 2 calls is going to be giving you everything you need to be successful. And then the remainder of the calls will be for Q&A, coaching, and accountability. So you have some action steps right now, okay? Your first action step is if you want to get access and you want to be a part of this initiative, you want access to all of these things that I just went over, you have to fill out and join school. So there's the link right there. And when we send out the recording of this later on, we'll also put the link in there. But I'd love if you could click on it. It takes maybe 10 seconds. It's going to ask you for some login credentials, and then you will get access to school. So that is your action step number 1. It seems like Miss Shelley is the first person to take action. Mr. Burns, second person to take action. Love to see it, guys. So grab that link. If you don't want to sign up right now, just copy and paste it to a Word document or bookmark it so that you can register later on. All right. So go ahead. And yes, we will get you guys approved as soon as we are done. Your second step is block off the calendar. And then your third step is order the coins, and you can order the coins through the school platforms. So those are your 3 steps: join school, block off the calendar, and order your coins. Awesome. I'm going to drop that link one more time. Look, Miss Shelley's already got the coins done. I love it. You see who the action takers are. And I want to pause here to see if, one, you guys are excited. If you're excited for this, type pumped, excited, some word that lets me know that you are ready for the challenge. There we go. All right, stoked. There we go. Boom. I love the boom. Jazzed. Do some jazz hands, right? Awesome. Ready to go. Very good. And guys, we want to remind you, there's no pitching, there's no selling. We are here to literally just help you and turn around, potentially for some of you, completely change the trajectory of where your school is going in the next 6 weeks. So, Mr. Clark, the dates, I'm going to ask you to register, because if you register and join school, the dates are in the calendar. So I'm trying to get you guys to make sure you join that platform. What I'd love to do, we have about 10 minutes left. I want to see if there are any questions. I know one of the questions was, do you fill out the enrollment tracker? Not yet. We want to teach you what you should be doing. We will start that once we get into the next webinars. And again, you'll get emails with reminders to fill that out. We'll remind you on the webinar as well. Okay.
Let me just jump in. Yeah. What exactly are the coins for? Yeah, I was going to take that. So look, I'll just give you a free tip right now. It's a free gift for your students, Mike Dillard said, but listen, I'm going to tell you how to use that to your advantage, because has anyone on here ever had a family or a student come in and get information and say, we're going to think about it. Let us think. Well, here's the deal. the coin can be used as a call to action. You're going to let all your leads, all your prospects know that we are part of an international initiative in the martial arts industry. And this month only, if you enroll in our school, you're going to get one of these commemorative coins that you can never get. So if you ever thought about doing martial arts and you want to have this coin to say someday, or one day I was part of an international initiative in the martial arts industry and I got a coin. It's about trying to enroll 30,000 students in 30 days in the martial arts. You're going to have people that will create a call to action to make a decision sooner than later. The other thing, I'll tell you how to use that for your own students as well, and how they could be part of this initiative and earn those coins. And we'll get into that, next week or the week after. So the coins is just making it special that these are custom-made coins as part of this initiative, that your community can be part of this movement in the martial arts.
And they're nice coins. I know that.
Thank you, Michael.
Well, Century is investing in this. I didn't realize.
And these aren't the coins.
I didn't realize how much they were going to be when I
box.
got this up, and 30,000 of them, that adds up. But if it signs up a new student, I'm more than happy to do it. So we're really excited. And guys, every time I listen to these guys talk, it's overwhelming. I know there's a lot of information. I know everybody probably got here and thought this was going to be an easy, these guys are going to help me sign up people and it's going to be easy. But we're starting today, because if you're going to be successful in September, you've got to start now. You've got to start planning, and we've got to get everybody on board with what we're trying to accomplish here. And I promise you, if you take this step by step and you implement these action plans and you really sit down and do this, you will be successful. I've seen this time and time again with them. Every time I come to a seminar with MAIA or I work with the MAIA team, it's just impressive how much knowledge. It almost seems overwhelming at times, but everybody's here to help you guys through it. We're going to stick to it together, and we're going to collaborate inside of the school platform, and you guys can ask questions. I mean, you're really getting free advice directly to each one of these guys to ask anything you really just want to. So that's very rare.
Also, I want to try to make sure that we do our best answering questions, because the last few sessions will be just, how are we doing? What questions do you have? What challenges have you faced? Everybody will learn from that. The link is reposted, but somebody asked earlier, will this work if you only sign up students at the beginning of each month or session? And the thing is, yes. I mean, if you start building a base of, if you want to do that, I don't need to understand the logistics of that. I don't necessarily love the business model from the surface, but I'd have to learn more on why we hold students back that want to join where they can't join till the beginning of the month. But if that's the way it is, and there's reasons behind that, yeah, you're going to get leads. And then whenever you decide to open your enrollment, you'll have all these people ready to enroll, hopefully, right? So let's see, I think there may have been a clarification there. Session is rec center. Yeah, no problem. Just still, we want to build up our base to get people ready to enroll when it is that we open enrollment, okay?
Guys, for those of you that says membership is pending, I completely understand that. I have to individually approve every single one. So I just started. There's about 300 in there. So within the next few minutes, you'll have access to the school platform. All right. But I just got to do it individually.
Last thing I want to say myself is, when I said to you, success is not easy, right? I don't know what picture you play in your mind, but this is an example right now. This right here. It is not easy to sit in front of a computer screen or an iPad or a phone and listen to people talk for an hour. That is not easy. Not everybody wants to do it. We want to click off. We get bored. We think we know. When you stick with it, you are ahead of the pack, because not everybody wants to do this because it's boring or not easy, or, I got other things to do, or there's a million distractions in life. That is part of the formula of being successful. So this is an example. So I don't want you to think, you're going to be killing yourself over the next 6 weeks. This is an example of how success is not easy. You got to do things that other people aren't willing to do. And this is one of those things that the majority of people don't want to sit here and listen to Mike Metzger tell them how to run their business, or Chris Rodriguez or Century Martial Arts, right? But maybe, just maybe, you'll learn something to be better off for it, right?
All right, guys. Any other questions before we wrap up? I know some of you are.
People are saying again, how do we order the coins? There's a link to order the coins.
Yeah, we're providing them free. That's why it's a link. So I didn't want everyone to have to get online and check out and be a customer Century. I mean, that's how much we're going around this. I'm going to use this. It's going to go to an Excel sheet. I'm going to print out labels. We're going to put it on a pack. It's going to go directly to you guys.
And Chris, one more time, there you go. Is that the link to order the coins?
It's the link to register to school, and inside of school, you can order the coins. So I'd rather just everybody get to school, get into school, and then you'll have everything that you need. Awesome. So Black Soul Personal Self-Defense saw a reference to top 10 finalists on the 30,000 site. Yes, so we'll get more into that when we get together next week, but that is why we are doing the student enrollment tracker, because we do want to highlight those of you that crush it over the next 30 days, and we'll be highlighting the top 10 finalists. Again, this is an honor system, right? It's going based off of what you guys submit. The other question was in there was, do trial students count? Mr. Metzger, do you want to take that question, sir?
Trial students do not count. Trial students are leads. Oh, Mikey, you want to count trial students?
I don't know. Sometimes I just type and so.
Here's the reason why. If we do trial students, then we need to make it 130 days. Listen, trial students is a step towards becoming a student, a full-fledged student. I would not count. I mean, if it's okay, Mikey, I mean, we can make people feel good and get the participation medal and give them the trial students, but that's not the world I live in, right? I want full-fledged students, whatever that means to you. If you're a month-to-month school, don't count somebody that does a one-class trial for $9.95 in a uniform, and then you got a student. If you're signing people up on a 2-week trial for $29, I don't want to count that as a student. That's a trial. So I would love this to be, our goal is to get you 30 full-fledged students in 30 days, not trials. Not trials, because you might say I got 50 trials, but you only converted 4 of them, and that did nothing to help grow your business, right? So students, if that's okay with you, Mike. And by the way, Mike, I'll save Century some money on coins that way.
I would like that too.
Thank you.
Mr. Metzger, I'll never forget you. One day when you were consulting me, you said trials don't pay your rent. And that always stuck with me. So it's going to be full enrollment, guys, for when we submit the tracker. And again, we'll go over the tracker more next week when we meet again.
And next week, in next week's seminar, I'm going to be dropping some promo codes for you guys to help out. So hopefully get you guys some good deals on any of the new students you guys sign up. No, doesn't matter what kind of martial arts you're in. We will come up with promo codes for each discipline, but it will open up and we'll give you guys that information. So you have the promo codes next week on the webinar.
By the way, guys, listen, we're going to kick this off. I'll answer one more question. And then next week, when we get into it, remember, we're going to have 3 sessions at least of Q&A, of just questions, but curious about losses of students during that time. So we're not going to be talking about retention. You may enroll 30 students and you may lose 30 students, but mission accomplished. You got 30 new students. If you happen to lose 30 in that time, well, that's on you guys, right? But there's we could do a whole session on retaining. The 3 R's: recruit, retain, and generate revenue. Those are the 3 R's, but this one's specifically on recruiting. So try to hold on to your students, which this is a transition time. This is where you lose students too. So that's why we're trying to get you to have a record enrollment month.
All right, guys. Any other questions? I dropped the link once more. I saw somebody was asking, is it a different Zoom link? Nope, it's the same Zoom link every single week. And you can access that Zoom link inside of school under calendars. You simply click on it and it'll give you the Zoom link. We'll still email you and text message you as well to ensure that you have the access that you need. Mr. Metzger, any final words?
Guys, I appreciate your time and I'm excited to be with you guys over the next, 6 weeks. We'll see you next week at 1 Eastern time, same Zoom link. Be there and be ready.
Thank you guys.
Mr. Dillard, good. All right.
Bottom of my heart, this is incredible. If we can grow the industry this much, I mean, it's really going to move the needle, and you guys will see this pay off years to come. So thank everyone for being here and taking the first step, which is just the action of getting in here and taking this very seriously.
Thank you.
We'll see everybody in 1 week. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, you too.